I just want to encourage anybody who's listening, like, to keep standing in your divine alignment. Hey y'all. So I have finished my manuscript. I finished it last Thursday and it was a feat, to say the least. So the next book that's coming out is book 6 for me, and it's called The Company We Keep. I may have shared that here before already. But, you know, I'll be 36 this year. I've been writing books since I was 23, and I am really, excited to not be writing a book right now. I'm glad that it's with my editor and she will work her magic. What makes me most excited is that I am ready to pivot. And I don't know exactly what that looks like or means for me, but when you've been writing books since your early 20s and now you are in your mid to late 30s, you know, there's this feeling of fullness within me that makes me feel like I'm ready to explore in new ways. I have been very creative most of my life, and the first business I ever had was a skincare line right out of college that kind of supported my, I don't know, creative heart, I guess you could say, while I was working a traditional 9-to-5. And I still do little things like hand make tea and body butters and body oils. I don't sell them anymore. I gift them to friends and family, but whenever I'm making in that way, it just feels so exciting. So I've been talking to some friends about like them wholesaling tea from me to sell at markets, and I don't know, just lightness. I am just ready to lean into more lightness, and book writing is a heavy lift, and I've been very successful in my career, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and most of all, because a career, financially. And so I don't take it lightly that I am blessed to be in the position that I'm in to not write another book again for a while if I don't want to. And I also feel really blessed that I have the cash flow and capital to start something new if I want to. And so it's just trying to decide where to invest some creative energy, and also like not be concerned or worried or wanting to monetize anything new. Like I don't necessarily want to start a whole new tea company. I don't want to start a whole new skincare line. Like, should that happen, okay, but I really am just leaning into play right now, and that just feels so good. And I'm happy to be almost 36 years old and have the space to play. I know that that's a privilege. I know that being in this position, in this world, in this day and age, it's a blessing and a privilege, and I don't take it lightly at all. You know, to be able to live out a dream of being a writer and be successful at it and still have my very first book selling all these years later. I don't know, it's special. So I've just been thinking a lot about divine alignment and what happens when we are walking in our path and in our truth and not letting society or family or the world tell us that we can't do certain things because we are mothers or caretakers or spouses, or that doesn't make enough money, or those types of just discouraging tidbits that the world can give us. You know, I just want to encourage anybody who's listening, like, to keep standing in your divine alignment. And I want to talk a little bit about what that's meant for me over the years and how it has supported not just my family at this point, but it has supported my mental health and my confidence to make the life that I wanted to make when no one believed that I could. So let me make some tea and let's sit down at the table and talk. Okay. I'm not sure if y'all know this. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably do. But my perfume, Heal the Way, is now a candle. And look at how beautiful this candle is. Oh, so nice. So if you're a candle girl, here's another one to add to your collection. I like being able to burn my incense right next to the candle. It just smells really good. So I have this like green tea incense, and I'll put it in my little beauty right here. I really should do a better job at cleaning our stove off. You know, I'd be forgetting. There we go. That's so pretty. Oh, my oldest has been in it. It's already almost empty. But just look how pretty that is. So I like to make sure I get a little bit of everything. So we got the black tea, the citrus, the berries. It's about a tablespoon. I got this new kettle from this company called Arc that has temperature control for the water, mainly for our matcha, because our other kettle did not have temperature control. And with matcha, it's very temperamental depending on the water. So we upgraded, and this kettle is really nice. This is the kettle. I like that it's cool touch. Like you can tell it's warm, but it's not gonna burn you picking it up. That's the company. Little flip top. And then it goes on this base over here. And it has the little numbers there. Handy. Oh yeah, look at that. This is also a favorite part of mine. Just seeing the leftover tea. It just looks so pretty. I don't know, a little odd like that. It's good. It's good. There's something about the ritual of tea for me that just is so invigorating. It gives me everything I need. So, divine alignment. Side note, how's your joy journaling going? Let me write my joy for the day. Okay, now let's talk about divine alignment and why I think it's so important for us to lean into the callings of our lives and also to let divine alignment be a teacher for us. So yesterday I wrote something, and I actually am going to read it to you guys. And of course, it was just all in the vein of living a life that feels good and grounded for us, and how divine alignment is such a beautiful teacher when we have our eyes open to it. I think many of us keep our eyes closed to the true paths of our lives because we're told from a very young age that it is not going to come to be, that we need X, Y, and Z to be successful, that we need approval, an external validation to be seen. And I am just here to tell you that that is not the truth. That is not the truth. And I also feel as though we have to be very careful whose limiting beliefs we're taking on. Because when we are open to the divine and aligned timing of our lives, of our truth, of our beliefs, of our dreams, then we can truly and actively see clearly and create the lives that we want. And I'm not talking about manifestation. I'm not talking about fake it till you make it. I am not talking about any of that stuff that often goes along with creating the life that you want. Creating the life that you want, in my opinion, means believing in yourself enough to take risks. It means believing in your inner voice and not letting the outside world's voices cloud what you know and what you want your truth to be. That, for me, is divine alignment. If I was mentoring my younger self, I would tell her to trust her path. Whatever she wants to do, whatever she strives to do, whoever she strives to be, to trust the path that emerges in front of her and to work damn hard to get to where you want to go. What I mean by working hard and working damn hard is creating a net of safety for ourselves emotionally, because there are going to be people who do not understand, who do not get it, who do not support, who do not want you to do X, Y, and Z for whatever reason. But that's the thing about divine alignment. It is yours, and it is yours for a reason. And if you are deciding that you want to take a different route, even if it doesn't have to do with career, maybe it has to do with being the matriarch of healing for your lineage. Maybe it has to do with breaking certain cycles and relearning what it means to be in healthy relationships with people. Maybe it is just making space for creativity and play and fun outside of your 9 to 5 and outside of your roles to other people. Divine alignment doesn't pick and choose what it is or where it goes. Your life and your path is your life and your path. How are you going to walk the walk and talk the talk? For those of you who may be new to me and my work, I wrote all about it in my book, After the Rain. But in short, I became a mom at 18. And my life, of course, as you can imagine, changed. And there were so many people who counted me out, who counted me and my kid out. And I refused to let anybody's projections make me small, make me smaller than I already felt, to be honest. And so to be here, where I am today, is nothing short of a miracle. My life could have turned out very, very differently. I knew that I wanted to create a life of ease and softness and clarity and kindness and healing for my children. And I do not think having 3 daughters is by accident at all. They are each my mirrors. They are each an embodiment of my healing and of my divine alignment in this life. My life just could have turned out to be very different, being young, Black, unwed at the time, and deeply harmful to myself. I was very just troubled and sad and broken, and I had no idea where my life would go. And after I had Charlie, who is my oldest, I just knew, like, something just clicked. Like, I just knew that something had to change, and I didn't know how to change. I just knew something had to change. It was slow and steady. It was baby steps. But I knew in my heart of hearts that there was a path for me that may have not been paved yet. And it was my job to lean in and to get curious. Of course, I didn't have this language at 18, 19, 20, 21. But it was my job to lean in and get curious about who I wanted to be in this world, about the mother I wanted to be, about the woman I wanted to be. It took a lot of people telling me, you're not going to be nothing. Nobody's going to want you. You have a baby. Nobody is going to love you. You're not going to have a good career. And the lack of emotional safety that I felt pushed me closer to myself. My healing journey started when I was 21. Charlie was 3, maybe 2.5, 3. I decided, I was just like, you have to start getting serious. It's time to grow up. You have to start getting serious. And I had gone to therapy, and I had like changed my lifestyle a lot. I was plant-based and yoga and like just trying to find myself, just literally baby Alex, just trying any and everything to like find her healing. And I don't even think I had that language then. I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was healing, what I was doing. I just knew that there had to be another way. What clicked for me was recognizing that I was the common denominator in my life, that I was the common denominator in my relationships, and that I had to be the one to adjust. I talk about this a lot now with my clients and students about the 3 A's, which is acknowledge, accept, and adjust. And acceptance doesn't mean to excuse. It means to make peace with what we cannot change and look at what we can. And the only thing that we can change in the immediate is ourself and our posture, and how are we going to shift and adjust to become more grounded, to become more at peace, to become more divinely aligned. It took a lot. It took a lot. I gave up a lot. I lost a lot of friends. I was outgrowing people left and right. People were outgrowing me. And it wasn't until I was stripped of everything I thought I knew, all the friendships I thought I had, all the knowledge, I thought I knew everything. It wasn't until I was stripped stripped to the bone, that I was able to really pay attention to where my path was emerging. And therapy helped a lot with that. My writing was, I've always been a writer, but I didn't start writing to be kind to myself. I didn't start writing to heal myself until I was in 20, 21. And I found that in therapy, really great therapist named Miss B. I think what makes me so, gung-ho about trusting the divine alignment in our lives is because divine alignment is a teacher. It's a teacher. And if we open ourselves up and listen to our voice, we can become clear. But in order to become clear and in order to listen, we must also trust. We have to trust ourselves. That was key for me. Learning that I was in charge of my life. Learning that I could make decisions that would make or break my future. Learning that I have autonomy and freedom, and it's sacred, and it's special. And in order for my life to be aligned, I have to trust that I am worthy of alignment. And so I'm going to read something to you guys that I wrote yesterday. Close your eyes while you listen. It might be nice. It might move you in some way, might settle into your heart in some way. Divine alignment is a teacher, one that is patiently waiting for you to open up and lean in. When you are in alignment, ease flows freely. Love makes more sense. Joy sparkles and delights at your evolution. Being small is not where you belong. You can only take root when you stand on the fertile ground of your purpose. Trust the path. Trust yourself. Carry on with grace and be a student of life. The main thing that I want whoever watching this to take away is that you are allowed to trust yourself and create the life that you want. I know that especially in this day and age, it feels so much easier said than done. But remember, your life doesn't have to be grand to be great. Your joy doesn't have to be expansive to leave you with feelings of gratitude. And I think we have gotten so caught up in this digital age where we show the highlight reels and we share about the earnings and we share about the successes and we share about, just the things that make us feel like we are somebody. But the truth is, you are somebody without the things, without the money, without the grand life, without the beautiful Instagram feed, without the beautiful TikTok videos, without all the followers and all that shit. It really, pardon my French, doesn't matter. What matters is how are you living? Are you in alignment? Are you grounded? Are you true, honest, compassionate, kind, driven to be the change that you want to see, as Thich Nhat Hanh tells us. And I think that was huge for me. I had to decide that I wanted to be the change that I wanted to see in the world. And in order to do that, you have to be brave. In order to walk in divine alignment, you have to be willing to give up who you used to be, to step into who you want to be. You literally have to. I wish there was a shortcut. If I had it, if I knew the trick, if I knew the shortcut, if I knew that we could snap our fingers, I would be telling y'all, listen, all you gotta do is snap and you in that thing. Wouldn't that be so great? It would be so great. But that's not where the work is. The work doesn't come easy. It doesn't. The healing doesn't come easy. Finding your footing doesn't come easy. But it doesn't mean it has to be treacherous and hard all of the time. I know there are people who are going to see this, who have been counted out, who are being counted out, who have people telling them, you can't do that, do it this way, do it my way. I want you to remember, do it your way. Do it your way. And if you have to, take the long way. Take the scenic route. When you fall, look at the ground and say, God damn it. Thank you for catching me. Because that's a part of life. Falling, stumbling, getting it wrong, breaking your own heart and then piecing it back together again. That's literally a part of life. We have to remember that at the end of the day gonna end. Isn't that what Glorilla told us? At the end of the day, we are literally all going to be returning to the earth. And what do you want to return to the earth with? How do you want to leave this place? Where do you want your legacy to grow roots? You don't have to have these answers today or tomorrow, but I want to encourage you to really start to think about your pathway and what that feels like for you and who's on it with you, because we need community. Think about the type of life that you want to live for you, that you want to create for you. What makes me most excited about my divine alignment and the path that I've created is that I've left footsteps for my children. They don't have to follow mommy's exact footsteps. They don't even have to get on my path. But I do want them to know that it's there for them and that I'm there for them long after I leave this place. And
I think that's what's so special about living an aligned life. I'm a crier. I'm trying not to cry. It's interesting. The older I get, the more I think about just what I want to be true for me in this season. I don't necessarily know right now. I'm in a really abundant season, so it's almost like maybe what I want to be true is letting myself be with the abundance, be with where my alignment has taken me. It's interesting feeling this type of satiated, feeling emotionally full and fed, creatively full and fed. There is something like deeply sacred about that, but also quite unsettling as somebody who is a doer and who is very creative, who is very ADHD too, and who is very unfocused, but also just who gets very excited and passionate about the things that make me feel aligned, right? But something that I think this season is asking of me is to sit in the softness that I've created for myself. And that is hard. You know, I'm finished this book, and I mean, even at the top of the video, I'm like trying to figure out what's the next creative thing because I'm just so busy. But I think what the next thing is contentment, is having a seat, is rest. It's not letting the chaos of this world rob me of the peace I've created. It's about self-soothing. It's about undoing. And I think another thing that feels really tender but special about divine alignment is the invitation to sit with ourselves and what we have done and what we have not done. In order to find our path, we have to be willing to stand still on it. That's another thing I would tell my younger self. Because sometimes when we're walking in our alignment, we still feel disoriented. We still feel hella lost and like, where are we going and what are we doing? And I think that's where the self-trust comes in is, okay, stop walking. Stop trying to find your way and be the way. Stand still and steady and get your bearings. And I think in this season of my life and of my healing, I'm being called to steady myself, to be in a season of steadiness, and to be okay with not knowing what the next step is. I remember when I wrapped up my tour for How We Heal. Going on tour for that many days back to back was literally, it was so outrageous. It was the craziest thing I feel like I've ever done in my career. It was beautiful. It was awesome to, be together and sell out venues and laugh and cry and, be together, right? But once the tour was over, Mama was tired. So tired, and I missed my kids, I missed my family, and I am not a mom and a partner who misses after being away for a day or two. I'm just not that, I'm not that lady. But by the time them 10 days was over, I said, oh yeah, I miss my people. I miss my kids. I miss the chaos of the kids. I miss my husband. I miss my people. That's how I knew, oh, I'm missing folk. It's time to go home. It's time to go home. I'm missing folk. But I remember people asking me after tour, after I had bust my ass on that tour and writing that book and like blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, tour is done. What's next? I'll be looking at them people like, are you crazy? What's next? I don't want to talk about what's next. I want to sit with what is now. What is now is not doing a damn thing. I didn't do anything for months after tour. Months. Sitting with what is now, steadying myself, is a gift. And so I want you to pave your own path. Write down, what does divine alignment look like for your life? What does a path look like? Who's on it with you? Is it a dirt road? Is it gravel? Get curious, have fun, get imaginative, and trust that you belong wherever you want to be. Even if people don't get it, even if people don't like it, even if people get mad at you for choosing to trust your aligned life. So, cheers. Thanks for listening to me talk about, I don't know, all the things. I'll see you soon. That's it. Peace.